Have you ever seen something that just stops you in your tracks? Something that looks wrong but feels so incredibly right? That's how it was the day I met Skipper, Scribbles, and Scooter. The shelter called, said they had a special case. And when I saw them, these 3 tiny 5-week-old kittens, my heart just broke and then immediately started to put itself back together again. They each had a congenital deformity, which is a fancy way of saying they were born with back legs that twisted severely inwards on themselves. It looked alarming, I won't lie. But then you looked into their eyes and you saw nothing. No pain, no sadness. They were completely oblivious to the fact that there was anything different about them at all. They just wanted to play. And in that moment, I knew I had to be part of their story. So they came home with me, our little twisty babies. My life pretty much instantly revolved around their physical therapy. Several times a day, I'd gently take their tiny legs and do these little stretching exercises. You'd think they'd fight it, but mostly they just purred. Especially Scooter. He'd just chill, like he was getting a spa treatment, completely relaxed while I worked on his legs. But don't let that fool you. These kittens were feisty. They'd wrestle and tumble with each other, a chaotic little pile of fur and twisted limbs, and they were so mighty. They didn't know they were supposed to be held back by their bodies, so they just weren't. We had this big cat tower, and I wasn't sure if they'd be able to manage it. But of course, they proved me wrong. They'd scramble up that thing, determined and scrappy, their little legs finding purchase where you'd think it was impossible. We had this one ball toy where the ball is trapped in a plastic track. They would spend what felt like hours, all 3 of them, batting at it, absolutely determined to get that ball out. Watching them, you'd completely forget about their legs. You just saw pure, unfiltered kitten joy and that stubborn, wonderful determination to conquer the world one fuzzy ball at a time. I was willing to try anything to help them. I read about hydrotherapy, how warm water could help with circulation and flexibility. So bath time became therapy time. We filled a little tub with warm water, and I'd do their exercises in there. They were already used to butt baths. When you can't stand up properly, messes are kind of a fact of life. So they took to the water pretty well. Then came the big step, splints. The vet fitted each of them with these tiny little splints to help encourage their legs to grow in the right direction. It was amazing. They adapted almost instantly, running and playing and jumping on each other as if they were just wearing cool new accessories. Every little bit of progress felt like a monumental victory. And as they grew, their incredible personalities just blossomed. Scooter was the gentle soul. He discovered his reflection one day and just sat there, staring, like he couldn't believe how handsome he was. And honestly, he was right. Skipper, she was a total cuddle bug, but she also discovered a new favorite game, fetch. She would chase that little crinkle ball for hours. I just had to work on teaching her the bring it back part. And Scribbles was all movement and moxie. A tiny little girl with the heart of a lion who loved as hard as she played. They weren't just the kittens with the bad legs anymore. They were Scooter, Skipper, and Scribbles. Each one a complete and perfect little individual. It wasn't all a straight line to recovery. There were ups and downs. At one point, Skipper started having more trouble with her legs, seeming a bit more uncomfortable. My heart just sunk. We rushed her to the vet, got her on some meds, and started up the hydrotherapy again just for her. It was a reminder that this was a real medical journey, not just a cute story. But just like always, Skipper's spirit was incredible. She took her medicine, she did her water exercises, and she soaked up all the extra snuggles. It was just another hurdle for her to leap over, and she did it with a purr. And then the day came that I was both dreading and praying for. The vet gave us the news. They were ready to be adopted. Their legs weren't perfect, and they might need surgery when they were older, but their mobility was good. They could run, climb, play, and love life with the best of them. My job was almost done. It's the strangest feeling as a foster. You pour every ounce of your heart into these little beings, and your entire goal is to give them away. I was so incredibly proud of how far they'd come, these resilient little miracles, and I just hoped someone out there would see what I saw. And then, the most incredible thing happened. A wonderful family wanted to adopt, and they wanted both Scribbles and Scooter together. My heart just about burst. Sending them off was one of the hardest and most beautiful things I've ever done. I packed up their favorite toys and their blanket, and I kissed their little heads goodbye. I will miss their incredible personalities and those silly pretzel legs more than I can say. But knowing that they would have each other and a family to love them forever, that's the whole point. That's the win. Have a wonderful, long, happy life, my miracle babies. I'll love you forever. That just left my sweet girl Skipper. She had a virtual meet and greet that seemed to go perfectly. The potential adopter said all the right things, how impressed she was with Skipper. My hopes were so high. And then, the next morning, I got the email. She decided to pass. My heart just broke for Skipper. I know she might require a bit more than your average kitten, but she couldn't be more worth it. I just held her close and told her that her family was out there. We just hadn't found them yet. And you know what? Just a few days later, we did. Skipper found her perfect forever home. All 3 of my twisty babies were home. People say I rescued them, but I think in a lot of ways, they rescued me. They came into my life looking broken, but they were never anything less than whole. They taught me that our bodies don't define our spirit, and that a joyful heart can overcome almost anything. Their story isn't about their twisted legs. It's about their unbreakable will to live and to love. And every time I think of them out there in the world, running and playing and sleeping in sunbeams in their forever homes, I remember that sometimes the most beautiful things in life are the ones that are a little bit different. They're the ones that teach you the most.